The room smelled of polished wood, leather chairs, and the weight of a $500 million deal. Everything had been arranged perfectly. The suits, the contracts, the handshakes rehearsed. On one side, American executives whispered with excitement. On the other hand, a group of Arabic investors wore practiced smiles, their eyes sharp and calculating. It looked like history was about to be made, but then a sound broke through the silence. Not the clink of glasses, not the shuffle of papers, something unexpected. A young girl, barely noticed before, stepped forward. She wasn't a lawyer nor an executive. She was the maid's daughter. What she was about to reveal would shatter reputations, break fortunes, and uncover a trap no one saw coming. Watch until the end. Wait a second, tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. For months, James Miller, a successful black CEO, had fought against doubt, whispers, and the subtle racism that shadowed every step of his career. Unlike his white counterparts, every move he made was scrutinized twice, every success questioned, every setback magnified. Still, he had built his empire brick by brick, determined to prove that brilliance was not bound by skin color. This $500 million deal was supposed to be his defining victory. The contract that would not only secure his company's future, but also silence critics who said he didn't belong at the table. The investors from the Middle East were powerful, influential, and known for striking ruthless bargains. Yet James believed he had done his homework, his confidence steady. In the corner of the room, unnoticed, the maid served tea. Her 12-year-old daughter had been told to wait quietly. Nobody paid her attention. After all, she was just a child. But sometimes the smallest voice carries the most dangerous truth. As papers shuffled and pens clicked, James felt the weight of history pressing against him. He had been here before, in rooms where he was the only black man, where stares cut deeper than words, where colleagues assumed his success was charity rather than earned. But this was different. He wasn't asking for permission. He was commanding respect, or so he thought. The investors leaned forward, their smiles smooth, their words heavy with charm. Yet beneath the polished surface, something was off. The terms they offered looked generous, almost too generous. James's lawyer whispered in his ear, but even he couldn't spot the flaw. Hidden in the fine print, invisible to most eyes, was a trap designed to strip James of ownership, to make him nothing more than a figurehead in the empire he had built. And then came the interruption. The maid's daughter tugged at her mother's sleeve, whispering frantically. At first the mother shook her head, terrified of causing a scene. But the girl refused to stay silent. Her small voice broke through. "Mama, that paper, it's not what they say. It's written differently." Gasps filled the room. Executives turned, irritated. Investors froze. The girl clutched a school notebook, its pages filled with translations she had copied at home. She had recognized Arabic text buried in the contract, text that told a very different story. She didn't know the weight of what she had uncovered, but her courage in speaking changed everything. The room erupted into chaos. Lawyers scrambled, flipping through documents, their faces draining of color. The Arabic investors, once calm and collected, now exchanged panicked glances. James's heart pounded as the trap revealed itself. The contract would have transferred controlling shares of his company overseas, leaving him powerless. All eyes turned to the maid's daughter. A child who had no seat at the table, no voice in the business world, had just saved a black CEO from losing everything. Her words cut sharper than any legal argument, exposing deceit at the highest level. The investors tried to recover, claiming it was a misunderstanding, but the truth was undeniable. For James, it wasn't just about money anymore. It was about survival, dignity, and the proof that sometimes justice comes from the unlikeliest of places. The deal collapsed within minutes. Contracts were torn apart, reputations crumbled, and the investors left the room in silence, their plans shattered. James stood tall, not just as a businessman who had avoided disaster, but as a black man who had once again faced a world eager to strip him of his worth. The maid held her daughter close, tears streaming, unsure if she had done the right thing by letting her speak. But James knew. He walked over, knelt to the little girl's height, and thanked her. Without her courage, $500 million and his life's work would have vanished. This story is not just about a deal. It is about how racism, exploitation, and silence often walk hand in hand. But when the unheard dare to speak, they can rewrite history. How many more voices remain ignored, waiting to be heard? Which country and city are you watching from? Take care.